Hello, everyone. Hi, Max. How are you
Hey,
doing today?
I can't complain. Yourself?
Yeah, I know that you are based nearby Miami. Not much to complain, right? Good weather.
Yeah, perfect weather today. Yeah, I don't need any light. I have enough light from Florida sun.
I could imagine. I would love to be there as well. By the way, we have quite, I would say, something looks like a winter. So it's like a slight minus, right? So by Celsius, so for you guys. And it's just, but it's very sunny. I think it's way better because whenever we have kind of warm weather, I would say it's a never-ending rain. So
Hmm.
you need a boat really.
And
Also,
where are
it's
you
kind of
located?
I'm in the Netherlands.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just kind of we are in the middle of very, very rainy season. But it's good that right now it's a slight minus, so this means that we have sun. So I mean, for local people, right? It's kind of not good because they are not really used to that minus. But for me, it's way better. I prefer
I
slight minus.
I totally don't miss winter at all. It's my first year in Florida. Like I see a lot of snow in Instagram from my Boston friends, for example, and I'm so happy I'm here. Like so far so good. I'm good.
Yeah, I know. So, Max, you had the position of SVP of marketing at Semrush, right? Where you oversaw all aspects of the company's marketing functions. And ironically, right, at that time, Semrush didn't really have anyone or kind of, really investing in an SEO channel, right?
Yes and no. I mean, they had tons of content on their website, but because
Mm-hmm.
Google was changing algorithms all the time, Google started prioritize, let's say, quality over quantity. So yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
were in need to significantly reduce amount of content, rewrite it,
Mm-hmm.
improve quality, etc. So yeah, I've introduced SEO function during my time in SEMrush.
Yeah, and basically right now, SEO traffic is one of their primary, right, sources of growth, right? So they're kind of, ranking by
Right.
a very good number of SEO related and, beyond SEO related keywords.
Yeah, and like what was interesting there, it was already like hundreds of thousands of visitors.
Mm-hmm.
During my time there, we were able to more than triple it. Actually, in our best year, we tripled the whole organic traffic. And then
Mm-hmm.
after Backlink being
Yeah, I was
acquired,
about to ask about the Backlink because it should have contributed significantly, right, to the
well,
final
from
result.
from traffic perspective to SEMrush domain, probably not too much.
Mm.
However, Brian brought a lot of knowledge, and
Mm.
Brian helped me to hire new management for this team. So
Oh, very nice.
Kyle Byers joined back then, and since
Mm-hmm.
then it's Kyle who is doing this job, and he's a rock star. I mean, they're growing like several times year over year.
Yeah, very nice. Congratulations on that.
Congratulations to SEMrush. But it was
Well,
good.
it's kind of, it's a mutual, right? It's kind of a mutual work, right? You and Samrush, you met at the right place at the right time, right? In order to reach those results. Because for me, it's always like it's not a coincidence. It's always like the time, place, and the right people.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. But I want to ask something, right? Because we've recently discussed with the team that we need to ask our guests, the same question, right? So then we can compare the results and so on. So you will be the very first one that I will kind of introduce this question to. And I want to ask about, for sure, organic traffic. Why did you decide to choose organic traffic over the other traffic channels, right? So why organic traffic?
Well, I mean, on my journey, on my professional journey, I wasn't prioritizing organic traffic because historically many marketing teams were reporting to me. However, I saw that, for example, in 2012, more than 2 years ago, we were building an online store for luxury fashion retailer, and every additional piece of information brought to website was increasing our organic traffic and sales. So we describe merchandise better, more traffic, more sales.
Nice.
We kind of SEO guys are making programmatic pages like new arrivals of Gucci bags, bang, a lot of very relevant traffic, a lot of new sales without investments. Like it was the cheapest channel, probably not taking email marketing into account, and it was stellar and it was growing. So like literally millions of dollars from organic traffic was a very good motivation to be focused.
Over the right, and that was 2012, right?
Yeah, 2012. 2017 was my short journey to crypto for 2 years, and in crypto, most channels are banned. You cannot advertise.
Is it still like that, by the way?
I have no idea, honestly speaking. I'm not in that
Me too.
industry.
I just curious.
Yeah, but in 2017, like organic search was one of your only few options because everything else was banned, and performing great in organic was kind of your winning point. Yeah, in SEMrush, we already covered it. Number one SEO tool on the market, but it was a challenge to recover organic traffic and multiply it there. And right now, I mean, I'm focused on my own projects. I invest my own money, and taking into account everything I know, of course, the first thing I do is content for organic search.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I have a question about your most recent research, right? The one where you basically where you look through different SEO tools, like as I recall, SEMrush, Ahrefs, SERP, and most Majestic Self-Stack as well, right?
Yeah.
Did I miss something? Yeah. Okay.
Well, the final experiment that we will publish in a couple weeks will include 20
so that
tools.
is kind of a series. Okay, so you have a few in a row.
Right. We were publishing results only for Big Four, SEMrush, Ahrefs, Majestic, and Moz, because they are kind of mostly used. But in the final results, we will check with 20 tools and publish this data.
So, and that was basically the main idea was to uncover the tool that is crawling the links at the fastest pace, right?
Actually, initially I wasn't there at all. I was I was rebalancing my investment portfolio, seeking for. I mean, after exiting from SEMrush, I'm thankful that I don't need to work. So I was working 2 hours per week doing some consulting. So I with plenty of time, I was bored, and I decided to acquire a website, invest some money. And I was doing due diligence for yet another one e-commerce store. It was a commerce store as far as I remember. And it was sold like great opportunity, huge backlinks profile, high domain rating, all this stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, interesting. A lot of organic search potential. I started researching and realized this website is not ranking for a single word. And I was like,
so that's garbage.
Yeah, I mean, it really has kind of high domain rating, but it says nothing. It's it doesn't make any sense.
It's not a rare case right nowadays, just because.
Now I know it. Now I know it, but back then, I wasn't SEO. I was just trying to invest my money. I had some SEO knowledge. So I started doing research, tested same exact website with few other tools, realized that all of them are showing different data. I was like, okay, interesting. I've asked my SEO guy, Alex, why is it this way? And he's like, oh, everybody knows it. I was like, come on, nobody knows it. And she's like, yeah, you can pay like $50 and your domain ranking will be 50 plus and you will have thousands of backlinks. I was like, really? I mean, it's everything is like black hat tactics here. And of course, in my previous career, I was never kind of participating in anything like this. So I was like totally surprised. But now I'm not enterprise guy, so I just took my credit card. We paid few gigs.
How did you find them, by the way? So you just kind of registered?
I just totally
Fiverr, right? I left kind of, an advertisement was probably, right? I've never used it, so I just kind of curious.
You just search increase.
You just search, okay.
Increase hrefs, DR, MOS, DA.
So they kind of, market themselves in that way.
Right, and like there are thousands
very
of
interesting.
them.
So there is kind of the whole, basically, sub niche of whatever SEO spammers, let's say, that are just working, hard on manipulating domain ratings on Ahrefs.
Right,
Specifically,
yeah,
right? Because if you can manipulate this on Ahrefs, it's not necessarily going to work for SEMrush, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge topic. We will probably need to discuss it in another time. Yes, so you can pay and manipulate like Ahrefs metric. You can significantly increase MOS, DA. Majestic Trust Flow is much more tamper-proof, but they discover less backlinks. SEMrush authority score is taking into account if the website is ranking in Google, so it's really hard to manipulate it. But anyway, like getting back to your question, I was trying to purchase business, realized that data is really misleading. I mean, really misleading. You can lose a lot of money trying to make business decisions based on this data. So yeah, started doing this research and realized that, okay, those authority hackers are making hundreds and thousands of backlinks, but different tools don't see them in the same way. And it was idea of my next research. I was like, okay, it looks like they're super different in the speed, etc., etc., etc. So I ended up with few researches around domain authority metrics and around backlinks.
Yeah. By the way, who is the winner? Who is the best tool when it comes to discovering right newly acquired links?
I mean, there is no perfect answer because there are exceptions. So let's say this way: in most cases, SEMrush win. In most cases, Ahrefs is a solid number 2. Usually MOS and Majestic are far from Ahrefs and SEMrush. So there is a big gap between what SEMrush and Ahrefs discover and what MOS and Majestic discover. However, why I wasn't kind of that confident when I started answering your question, there are exclusions. Some websites, Ahrefs finds more backlinks and they do it faster. In other cases, like we have a couple cases where MOS is number 1. So in most cases, SEMrush is winning, but there are exclusions.
Yeah, that is interesting. Just because each and every crawler works in, differently, most probably, right? By the way, I just want to ask something. Have you ever considered also adding Google Search Console and seeing how fast is Google with picking up those links to compare it? Because that is the industry benchmark, most probably, right?
It is, but so first of all, you need access to Google Search Console. I have
but
access.
You can basically just install, I think, it on your website, right? The code, and then it's going to be automatically showing the data.
Right, yeah, but you need access to this website to get this data. And of course, I can compare, but even within few small websites that under my administration, let's say this way, Google Search Console, I've checked before our recording one of websites, and it was like 140 backlinks, while Ahrefs was finding 280. SEMrush was like 800. So it's just not giving enough information.
Yeah, but I just wonder, if, right, but by the way, am I right? It's just kind of a bit stepping back and asking about SEMrush. Am I right in understanding that SEMrush is only showing the links of websites that are ranking, right, in Google? They are kind of, or they are showing everything, but only considering whenever they calculate the authority score, right?
Oh, yeah, it's another topic. For authority score, they look for, they have another definition of high quality backlink. So from their perspective, high quality backlink is backlink from website which ranks well. And
which is making sense, right?
Now, yes. Historically, all SEO industry was relying only on backlinks without taking rankings into account. But as a final result, we have what we have. We have huge black market of link building services. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just kind of, I was asking this just because I felt that the following, right? If we think about Google, right, and the way Google looks at links, and then kind of thinking over that, assuming for sure, because I don't really know what kind of links you found in Google Search Console, but if we assume that Google only looks at links that are somehow, say, like meaningful ones, so the ones that are coming from websites, that means something, right? Instead of just kind of showing all the web spam, because most probably Google doesn't even take this into consideration, right? This noise, so kind of removing this noise,
think they don't.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, just kind of saying that is, something that you can at least kind of rely on or think over or take into consideration, because the rest of other things are not really meaningful ones. So even though, right, we historically, right, all SEO especially, they're interested in seeing as many links as possible, right? In reality, maybe the question is not in the number of links, but in the number of links that are kind of bringing, right, some changes, right? Bringing
I will
some
tell
value.
you more. It looks like that over time, backlinks are less and less important for rankings. So, for example, my own website, I have like 5 backlinks to it from, I don't know how they appeared in my backlink profile. But this website ranks for domain authority and a few other highly competitive SEO keywords on like positions 20 already with 0 backlinks. And recently, Neil Patel was making kind of research confirming this, that they see more and more top 3 results in Google without strong backlink profile. And SEMrush itself recently published SEO ranking factors. Backlinks are like in top 10, but they tend to move down over time. So yeah, I would say if it's not link from really relevant website, which is ranking in Google for exactly your topic, it's probably more or less useless or drive very narrow value, very small value.
Yeah, for sure. I think, we should look at links as recommendations, right? That is the main idea, right, behind any link.
It was initial idea of...
If you get not relevant, right, not meaningful recommendations, right, you kind of one entity, right, and you're getting recommendations from a completely different entity that is not relevant to your topic, then this recommendation is not counted.
You actually just gave me an idea for another experiment. Trying to write like really low quality article and then redirect all thousands of backlinks that we have right now after my previous experiments to this article, just to check if it will change anything or not, because it will be like 7,000 useless backlinks targeting this
Yeah.
article. I hope
Yeah,
Google will not
there's
ban my entire website. I should
well,
ask my
fingers
SEO
crossed.
guy. I should
Yeah,
ask my
fingers
SEO
crossed.
guy. Probably he will not approve it, but then we can
Yeah.
make it on a separate domain.
Yeah, well, it's quite interesting that despite, right, the fact of really giving less priority, right, in, across all the ranking factors to links, whenever, and I've been looking for something, right, in Google, and I noticed, for instance, especially in the B2B niche, a lot of results that are coming from LinkedIn, right? Whenever you look for something related to the B2B niche, right, you start seeing more and more, right, posts from LinkedIn that are ranking exceptionally well, right, outranking even some well-known domains like HubSpot and so on. So I think despite, and I agree that links per se, right, they are not as important as your overall brand entity, right? Because LinkedIn is a huge, right, is a huge and well-known company. And as a result, right, it gets more priority in search engine results, right? Just because of this, kind of historical of this history, I would say, right? So historically, building up such a well-known brand, right, is contributing to the current situation.
Definitely, but on the other hand, I mean, if it's a recent thing, it can be temporary thing. So Google can decide to change the algo next time, and they will prioritize only LinkedIn posts with like high engagement, with a lot of likes,
Yeah,
comments.
that is a separate story, right? We will see, right? We will see, because right now it looks like, by the way, guys, if you desperately want to rank by any keyword, right, and you don't really kind of have any chance to do that with your current domain, right, with your current domain authority due to the level of competition, here is a workaround, right? You can do a post on LinkedIn, and this post can rank extremely well, right? And if you build a few links back to this post, then it's kind of even having more chances to outrun the current competition in Google SERPs. So, yeah, I agree. There is a comment from our listener that LinkedIn is kind of a new Wikipedia in some ways. Right. It's very true, right? It's becoming, because they've recently started to invest quite a lot in building up their content and, kind of encouraging their users to create this kind of a content. So it's kind of B2B rated. I would say it's better to say it's kind of rated for, B2B rated, right? Rather than Wikipedia, because the content is user generated always, right?
And you see who exactly generated it and who
Yeah,
this
is it a
person is.
trustworthy entity, right? That is another thing. Which is, by the way, talking about LinkedIn, I still feel that they're failing badly when it comes to allowing and having fake profiles. I get at least a few per week. Fake profiles are still there. People are kind of creating them, on a regular basis, and they're constantly trying to reach out to you and so on.
Yeah,
That is ridiculous.
it's a
And
big
by
thing.
the way, I tried to report a few times. Never worked.
I mean, it's a big topic. It can be
Yeah,
another
absolutely.
podcast. Conflict between product metrics, because any activity inside product drive product metrics. So a LinkedIn product team can be not interested in
Yeah, for
reducing
sure.
any activity. While from user perspective, of course, you want to see communication attempts and outreach only from like real people who are doing real
Yeah,
work. So yeah,
yeah.
hopefully one day
And
Microsoft will adjust it. Now they have LinkedIn AI, so probably they will do
yeah,
better job over time.
yeah, hope so, hope so. By the way, I have a question related to LinkedIn. I saw one of your recent posts on LinkedIn where you mentioned that years of experience could sometimes be a problem rather than advantage. Could you please elaborate a bit on this? Because it's a very interesting topic, right? Because, normally or usually how you kind of look at this, the more you have under your belt, like 10 plus, of experience, the better, because, you know more the industry, you understand better the rules and so on.
Right. I mean, I can be biased here a little bit, but we are working in IT software industry, like very dynamic. Everything is changing very quickly. And basically, like there are three types of people. I've hired probably 500 people over my corporate career. So I can do like another HR job as well. So anyway, you have beginners, total beginners. You just test if they are kind of normal, critically thinking people, and then you teach them. They do a lot of errors. You need to explain everything, but over time
they're quite slow, by the way, with just kind of
right. You may not have time to develop those people. You need to get results, right? Opposite side of spectrum are like mature professionals with 10 plus years of experience. However, in some, like, they often have their own opinion about how job should be done. If we will take software development as example, I recently tried to hire a software development company, and they literally told me, we will not do what you will ask us to do. We will do our own research, and we will tell you what we will be doing. And I was like, why? And they're like, yeah, based on our experience, it works better. I was like, okay, interesting. Copywriters with like 10 plus years of experience, they can continue trying to do keyword stuffing. They're writing long GPT style articles. And I mean, it's impossible to ask them to write as Brian Dean.
Because they can't really, they've already developed some bad habits, right? So you're talking about not only positive sides, but we are also, by working so many years at the same roles, doing the same job, we are also developing some, bad habits.
Yeah, and from this perspective, what currently works is to first, one copywriter per industry. So I've tried to hire universal copywriters. It doesn't exist. You want people to have strong opinion, to write good content. So what's good about middle level copywriters? You don't need to explain them basics. They know how to do copywriter job, but they don't rank their opinion above your opinion. And they're ready to learn. They're open to new experience. So I ended up, like, from 5 copywriters I'm currently work with, only one in real estate industry is like really experienced with like 10 plus years. But because it's real estate. I mean, it's very conservative industry. In all other industries, total sense to hire somebody mid-level.
Yeah, I could understand this, just because besides having some, bad habits, I would say, right, or wrong ways of, doing some things, right? There is also some kind of, I've tried this, it has never worked, so I'm not going to do this, right? So, you have some kind of experience, and it's your own first-hand experience, not necessarily the right ones, but just because you've already gained this, you've already tried, you have some, concerns, I would say, right? So, and you're over against some ideas, right? So, and that is my own problem as well. Whenever, my team comes to me and says, let's try this, I was like, no, I've already tried this. It's not going to work. No need to try to persuade me, right? It's also, something that I constantly fight with, right? And having conversations, about this with myself, trying to educate myself. It's like, you have to be way more open-minded, right?
Yeah, and you should share the ways how you failed, because you're not only telling I've tried, it doesn't work. You should explain what exactly you did, because sometimes ideas sound similar, but under the hood, approach can be totally different, and it's all in details. So it's
Yeah, for
often makes
sure.
sense to try again same idea, but with another execution, because execution is the main thing.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you very much for joining us today. Where can people can find you, can connect with you, right? So
I'm mostly on LinkedIn. Like it's the only network I'm currently using.
So yeah, please make sure, guys, to connect with Max on LinkedIn. Thank you very much, Max, for joining us today. That was an amazing conversation about SEO and not SEO. So, but everything is interconnected, right?
Thanks for inviting me.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.